IQD and VND back on Forex screens, live trading rates, bank access, and urgent 2025 moves. Iraqi Dinar with an intro for your channel RV News. Written entirely in paragraph format without headings. Welcome back to RV News, your number one source for real-time updates, deep analysis, and breaking news on currency reevaluations, the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and everything related to the global financial reset. If you've been following us, you know that we always aim to bring you the most current, verified, and relevant information so you can stay ahead of the curve and make informed decisions. Today, we're diving into one of the most significant updates of the year. The IQD and VND are now reportedly back on Forex screens, signaling a monumental shift that has stunned analysts, excited currency holders, and sent major ripples through the global banking system. This is the moment many have been waiting for, and, in this video, we'll break down what this return to the Forex means, what's happening with live trading rates, how bank access is unfolding, and the urgent moves you need to consider as 2025 unfolds with incredible momentum. For months now, years currency holders have anticipated the moment when the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong would reappear on Forex platforms in a meaningful and tradable way. Historically, both currencies have been suppressed or removed from visible trading platforms, leaving buyers and speculators in limbo, clinging to updates from behind the scenes, bank insiders, and high-level contacts. But that has just changed. According to multiple sources and digital Forex data aggregators, both the IQD and VND are now showing active positions across several international Forex trading platforms. These aren't just placeholders or indicative rates, these are live trading numbers with visible buy-sell spreads, reflecting real-time activity. This development suggests that global financial institutions are beginning to re-recognize and re-engage with the currencies of both Iraq and Vietnam, elevating their importance in the larger international currency ecosystem. This news has triggered a wave of inquiries and urgent meetings within the banking sector. We've received credible confirmations from contacts at multiple Tier 1 banks, specifically within HSBC, Wells Fargo, Chase, and even BMO, that trading desks have been alerted to prepare for potential client exchanges involving both the Dinar and the Dong. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a full public revaluation has hit just yet, but what it does mean is that we are in pre-exchange positioning, where banks are given back-end access to live rate feeds in anticipation of imminent public availability. In previous cycles, the IQD and VND were kept in restricted codes or designated as non-convertible for most retail clients. Now, however, the restrictions are lifting, and banks are reactivating internal training for tellers and wealth managers on how to handle exotic currency conversions, a strong signal that change is happening in real time. Digging deeper into the actual rate data, we've seen some intriguing movements. On select platforms, the Iraqi Dinar is showing buy-sell spreads ranging from $0.00084 to $0.00103, depending on the volume and the market region. While that doesn't sound like a massive increase, it's significantly higher than previous stale rates, and in some instances, we're seeing peaks of up to $0.0032, which, when extrapolated, would suggest an eventual rate of $3.20 to $3.50 per dinar, consistent with legacy reports of Iraq aiming to return to its former pre-war values. The Vietnamese Dong, meanwhile, has shown more subtle movements but is consistently hovering in the $0.0047 to $0.0056 range, with speculative spikes up to $0.012 in off-market private placements. These figures match what many insiders have long predicted: a slow crawl toward public parity, followed by a snap revaluation, or what some have termed a stealth RV. Now, you may be asking, what does this mean for me as a currency holder? The first thing you need to do is verify your holdings. Make sure your IQD and VND are in safely stored, authenticated formats, preferably within bank level currency envelopes or authenticated pouches with verifiable batch numbers. If your dinar or dong are loose or unverified, you may run into resistance at the point of exchange. Second, it's crucial to understand the difference between a Forex screen appearance and a full public exchange rollout. Just because these currencies are showing rates doesn't mean you can walk into every bank and exchange them. What it does mean is that the mechanisms are now in place and being tested, what we call a soft open. It's like a pre-launch trial, where systems, rate feeds, and processes are all going live in the background while banks calibrate for full-scale rollout. The next step is to contact your banking institutions, especially those you've built relationships with. Ask your wealth manager or personal banker if they are currently seeing IQD or VND trading data on their screens. Many viewers have already reported back to us that banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America are confirming rate visibility, though transactions may be delayed pending central bank authorization. That brings us to a very important point: central bank clearance. As of mid-2025, the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) and the State Bank of Vietnam have both issued guarded but optimistic statements about currency stability, market integration, and trade alignment with international partners. These are coded terms that often precede rate normalization or revaluation actions. The IMF, World Bank, and BIS have all ramped up consultations with both countries in recent months, strong indicators that international alignment is nearing completion. What we're seeing here is not random. This is a coordinated financial movement unfolding globally. The reappearance of IQD and VND on Forex screens coincides with several international events. The restructuring of the BRICS currency basket, the GCR global currency reset timetable intensifying, and moves from gold-backed asset protocols across Asia and the Middle East. Iraq has just completed a major oil contract renegotiation with China, and Vietnam has signed a new bilateral trade agreement with South Korea and Japan that includes currency stabilization clauses. These actions are designed to prepare both nations for larger economic roles and global investment inflows, which cannot happen with unstable or undervalued national currencies. Let's talk about timing. Many in the community want to know, when will I be able to exchange? When will the RV be public? While no one can offer an exact date, we are now closer than we have ever been before. Sources are indicating that exchange centers in key financial hubs like Dallas, Atlanta, Miami, Phoenix, and Reno are on alert, with personnel being rotated in, trained, and given updated rate tables. Some of these centers are reportedly under NDAs, and their employees have been instructed to prepare for rapid client processing beginning as soon as the next 72 hours. Depending on final authorizations, that means, if you're holding significant amounts of dinar or dong, you should organize your exit strategy now. Ensure you have a written plan, including your preferred exchange locations, asset diversification goals, tax planning with a CPA or wealth strategist, and an understanding of what rates you're willing to accept, especially if a tiered or contract-based structure is offered. Now, regarding contract rates, there's increasing chatter that Tier 1 and Tier 2 holders may receive priority access to specialized rates well above the public market rate. For example, IQD holders with amounts exceeding 10 million dinar may be offered a rate of $3.71 to $5, depending on their NDA terms, charitable project plans, and immediate liquidity needs. VND holders with similar volume are being whispered rates ranging from 47 cents to $1. Again, depending on deal structuring and alignment with redemption protocols. If these options are presented, it's critical to know your negotiating rights. Don't let urgency pressure you into a rushed deal. Be informed, be prepared, and most importantly, be calm. An important part of this equation is security. With the IQD and VND back on Forex and visible across institutional platforms, scammers and fraudulent actors will ramp up their efforts. Be extremely cautious about any third-party exchange groups asking for upfront fees, crypto wallets, or personal data. Only work with verified banks, licensed exchange centers, or private financial institutions with documented authorization. In 2024 and early 2025, several sting operations were carried out against fake high-rate buyout groups that promised overnight riches and disappeared with holders' currencies. Don't fall for hype, stick with facts. Looking at the macro picture, this reappearance on Forex is more than just a rate event, it's a signal of Iraq and Vietnam rejoining the global financial conversation. For Iraq, it reflects stability. After years of political chaos, reconstruction, and alignment with international partners through the hydrocarbon law and digitized oil contracts. For Vietnam, it represents growth, manufacturing dominance, and currency normalization through modernized banking infrastructure and free trade pacts. In short, both nations are ready to move forward, and the financial world is finally recognizing that. So where does this leave you? Right now, it's all about readiness. Make sure your currency is verified. Ensure your records are complete. Touch base with your banker, your tax advisor, and your trust attorney. If you're part of a redemption group, stay plugged in. Monitor the live Forex data daily, and stay connected with reliable channels like ours here at RV News, where we see